Buckle up, hold on tight, and clear your schedule because what I'm about to tell you is not a drill, it's not wishful thinking, and it is absolutely not the same recycled rumor we've heard for years. As of this very moment, shockwaves are rippling through the highest levels of international finance and intelligence communities with a single, earth-shattering headline: the Iraqi Dinar revaluation has been confirmed, and the rate is a staggering $3.30 per IQD. I know what you're thinking. You've heard promises before, you've seen the any day now predictions crumble into dust, and the skepticism you're feeling right now is not just valid, it's necessary. But today is fundamentally different. This isn't coming from a shadowy forum post or an anonymous blog. The $3.30 figure has been corroborated through multiple, high-level, and previously unimpeachable sources within structured banking channels and international monetary oversight bodies. The whispers that began as a faint echo in the back channels of currency exchanges and sovereign wealth funds have now escalated into a coordinated hum of activity that cannot be ignored. Think about the sheer magnitude of that number for a second. We are not talking about a modest adjustment or a slow crawl upward. We are discussing a complete and deliberate revaluation that would instantly reposition the Iraqi dinar from its current status to one of the most powerful currencies on the planet relative to the US dollar. This isn't an accident of the market, this is a calculated, geopolitical maneuver of historic proportions, and the implications are so vast they're difficult to fully comprehend. For over a decade, the dinar community has been the subject of ridicule, labeled as dreamers chasing a fantasy, while enduring an endless cycle of hope and disappointment. The psychological toll of that journey is real, and I am not here to dismiss it. But I am here to present you with a convergence of data points, of concrete financial movements, and of geopolitical chess pieces moving into place with a speed and clarity we have never witnessed before. The evidence is no longer circumstantial, it is becoming procedural. Behind the scenes, the necessary legal and financial frameworks within Iraq, which have been the primary bottleneck for years, have undergone a silent but rapid transformation. Key chapters of the country's financial compliance, long stalled in parliament, have been fast-tracked and ratified with unusual urgency. Banking sector reforms, once considered a distant dream, are now not only implemented but being audited by international bodies as we speak. This isn't preparation for a minor change, this is the foundation being poured for an economic skyscraper. Furthermore, the activity in the forex pre-market and the interbank trading windows, spaces the average person never sees, has shown anomalous, targeted volume spikes specifically around the IQD pairings that defy all standard economic models for a currency of its supposed profile. These aren't the actions of retail speculators, this is institutional money positioning itself, and that kind of capital doesn't move on rumors, it moves on certainty. It moves on advanced, privileged information about sovereign-level financial events. The timing of this, against the backdrop of a global shift away from the US dollar as the sole reserve currency, is not coincidental. Nations are actively diversifying their holdings, and a revalued, oil-backed Iraqi dinar represents a potent new asset in that realignment. Iraq, sitting on some of the world's largest proven oil reserves, has finally leveraged that resource not just for crude sales, but for monetary sovereignty. The confirmation of the $3.30 rate, which you must watch this entire video to fully understand the proof of, signals that Iraq is ready to step onto the world stage not as a broken nation rebuilding, but as an economic powerhouse claiming its seat at the table. This transition has required unprecedented cooperation between the Iraqi government, the US Treasury, the International Monetary Fund, and the World Bank, a level of cooperation that would be impossible without a definitive, agreed-upon endpoint. That endpoint, as our sources confirm, is the number you see on your screen right now. Every delay of the past, every frustrating piece of legislation, every banking hurdle, can now be reinterpreted not as failure, but as a step in a meticulous, complex process that is reaching its culmination. The silence from mainstream media is deafening by design. A shift of this magnitude would cause immediate and uncontrollable market chaos if announced prematurely. The information is being managed, released in a controlled manner to specific financial institutions first, to ensure stability upon the public launch. You are witnessing the final moments of the old financial paradigm for Iraq, and the birth of a new one. The weight, the hardship, the unwavering faith of the dinar holder is on the precipice of being validated in a way that will rewrite personal and global financial histories. This is the moment where the patient are rewarded, where the prepared inherit a new reality. The data is screaming at us, the patterns are aligning, and the confirmation has moved from the realm of if to the definitive, when and at what rate. So what does this hard confirmation of a $3.30 rate actually mean on the ground, right now, in the real world of finance and geopolitics? It means the gears of a mechanism so vast and intricate that it was invisible to the public have finally begun to turn with audible, tangible clicks that we can now trace and verify. Let's start with the most critical and undeniable proof point: the silent overhaul of the Iraqi banking system's digital infrastructure. Over the past 18 months, under the radar of major financial news outlets, a consortium of European and Asian fintech firms, specializing in high-value, multi-currency transaction platforms used by the IMF and the BRICS nations' new development bank, has been embedded within the Central Bank of Iraq in Baghdad and Erbil. Their public contract was for system modernization, a bland term that hid a monumental truth. These aren't just software updates, they are installing the specific transactional gateways and liquidity buffers required to handle a currency that will suddenly be worth over 3 times the US dollar. This system is being stress-tested for volumes 1,000 times greater than current Iraqi dinar traffic, a fact verified by technical job postings, procurement documents, and the LinkedIn profiles of engineers on site who list project specs that make no sense for a currency trading at 0.00068. They are building a Ferrari engine for a car currently moving at a bicycle's pace, unless they know that car is about to become a rocket ship. This digital groundwork is the undeniable smoking gun. Banks don't invest hundreds of millions in this capacity without a sovereign guarantee of the new valuation. Concurrently, and this is where the data becomes irrefutable, we've seen a complete freeze on the issuance of large denomination dinar notes, the 25,000 and 50,000 IQD notes, from the international note printers in Britain and France. This freeze isn't about cost saving, it's a canonical pre-revaluation strategy. When a nation is about to increase its currency value exponentially, it first ceases production of the large physical notes that represent the old, inflated value. The next phase, already in motion according to Treasury contacts in Jordan and Kuwait, is the planned, gradual withdrawal of those big notes from circulation, to be replaced post-RV with new, smaller denomination notes that reflect the stronger currency. This logistical operation is slow, deliberate, and already underway in the Gulf corridors, further corroborating the timeline our sources have provided. Now, shift your gaze to the geopolitical chessboard. Iraq has just finalized, in the last 90 days, massive oil for infrastructure deals with China, Qatar, and the UAE, deals not priced in US dollars, but in Iraqi dinar at a future agreed rate. These are not speculative memorandums, these are signed, binding contracts with clauses that specifically reference post-monetary reform implementation. No sovereign nation signs multi-billion-dollar contracts in its own currency if it expects that currency to remain weak. It's a breathtaking vote of confidence, a legal and financial anchor point that locks in the expectation of the new valuation. Furthermore, the sudden and uncharacteristic silence from the US Federal Reserve and the Treasury on the issue of the Iraqi dinar, after years of routine public dismissals, is in itself a powerful signal. In the world of high finance, the absence of a denial is often a confirmation. The official channels have gone dark because any statement could trigger the very market anticipation they need to manage. This coordinated quiet is the calm before the storm. Finally, analyze the patterns in the global currency reset community, the other sovereign debt reorganizations, the gold-backed currency initiatives in Africa, and the quiet demotion of the US dollar in bilateral trade agreements from Southeast Asia to South America. The Iraqi dinar revaluation is not an isolated event, it is the most dramatic keystone in a broader arch of global monetary reform. The $3.30 rate specifically is believed to be calculated from a complex algorithm tying it to a basket of commodities, primarily Iraq's oil reserves, and a share of the nation's sovereign gold holdings that have been secretly re-audited and moved. This rate positions the dinar not as a mere national currency, but as a potential regional reserve asset, a pillar of stability in the Middle East, deliberately engineered to challenge the hegemony of the petrodollar. This is why the process has taken so long. They weren't just setting an exchange rate, they were re-architecting a cornerstone of the global economic order. Every piece of resistance we've seen, the political infighting in Baghdad, the banking delays, can now be reinterpreted as the final, fierce battles over control and positioning within this new, imminent reality. The winners of those battles have now emerged, and their blueprint is the number we see, $3.30. The evidence is no longer financial or rumor-based, it is digital, contractual, and geopolitical. The machine is built, fueled, and the start sequence has been initiated. This brings us to the most critical moment, the hinge on which everything turns, the transition from this confirmed intelligence to your immediate, personal action. Understanding the why and the how is only academic if you don't understand the what now. The window between this covert confirmation and the public, global announcement is not measured in months or weeks, it is measured in days, and possibly even hours. This is the fragile, decisive interim where fortunes are not just made, but secured. The institutional players, the sovereign wealth funds, the primary dealer banks, the hedge funds with direct line access have already positioned themselves. Their trades are placed, their currency portfolios rebalanced, and their contracts triggered. They are sitting in the front row, waiting for the curtain to rise. Your imperative right now is to join them in that theater before the doors seal shut. This means your first and most non-negotiable action is to immediately contact your currency exchange service, your bank's international desk, or your asset manager, whoever holds your dinar, and you must do it the moment this video ends. You are not calling to sell, you are calling to confirm your readiness and to establish a direct, personal line of communication for the moment the gates open. You must verify their protocols, their liquidity for the post-revaluation exchange, and their fee structure. Ask the hard questions. What is your process for a sovereign revaluation event? Will you have a dedicated line? What is the cutoff time for same-day processing? This due diligence is the armor you wear into this final phase. The chaos that will follow the public announcement will be unlike anything the retail currency market has ever seen: website crashes, phone lines swamped for days, and a whirlwind of conflicting information. Your preparedness in having a confirmed, personal action plan with your vendor is what will separate you from the desperate, scrambling crowd. Your second action is a mental and strategic one. You must decide, right now, what your exit strategy is. The $3.30 rate is the beginning, not the end. The market will experience incredible volatility. There will be a massive initial spike, followed by corrections, adjustments, and political reactions. You need a tiered plan. What percentage will you exchange immediately to secure life-changing capital, pay off debts, and claim your freedom? What percentage will you hold in the new, strong dinar as a long-term investment in Iraq's future, potentially watching it appreciate further as the nation blossoms? And what percentage might you convert into other tangible assets, gold, land, other commodity-backed currencies, to diversify and protect the wealth you are about to receive? You must have this plan written down before the news breaks, because once the emotional tsunami hits, clear thinking becomes the rarest commodity of all. This is about more than money. It's about the restoration of a promise and the validation of a community that held faith against a tide of doubt. When this revaluation hits the mainstream news, the narrative will change instantly. The skeptics will become silent, the mockers will scramble to explain, and the history books will be rewritten to credit the visionaries who saw the truth in the data. You are on the right side of that history. But that future is only guaranteed by the actions you take in this present, silent moment. Do not wait for the CNN alert on your phone. Do not wait for your friend to call you. By then, you are already in the second wave. The first wave, the wave of those who acted on confirmed intelligence with speed and precision, is moving now. This is your final call, your last and most important briefing. The information has been laid out before you, the digital proof, the contractual proof, the geopolitical proof. The confirmation is real. The rate is set. The timeline is imminent. Your entire journey has led to this minute, to this decision. So I am telling you, with absolute conviction, this is it. This is the moment. Turn off this video, pick up your phone, and execute your plan. Secure your legacy. Confirm your channels. This is not a prediction, it is a directive based on the evidence you have just seen. The future arrives for those who are ready to meet it. Be ready. Go now, and get this done. Do not be a spectator to history. You now possess the most urgent financial intelligence on the planet. Prove to yourself that you are ready. In the comments below, type "confirmed" and "ready" right now. This does two things: it locks in your commitment to act immediately, and it connects you with this community of prepared individuals. Then, put the phone down and make your critical calls. I will be monitoring these comments, and in the coming hours, I will be dropping urgent, time-sensitive updates only for those who have checked in here. Your confirmed and ready comment is your ticket to that real-time information. This is the final step. Do it!